Welcome to Be the Timeline series. Here we are going to use the energy of year one, which is Aries, and we are not going to second guess ourselves. We are going to timeline jump into our highest timeline, right? Anything that we weren't able to get to prior to this year, we are going to scrap that. Any efforts that you tried to make, something that you truly want to do, be, live, have in your life, and you've just been having a lot of blocks and obstacles, this series is for you. Now, I think blocks you come here with blocks, put it that way. So your natal chart, first thing you need to do is know thyself to get through any blocks, to get to any goals in life. And the first thing I recommend is your natal chart. Your natal chart is your thumbprint. It is specifically for you, and it's going to lay out your blockages and why they are there. And they're there for a reason, because your past life in some way is, requires you to come here with certain lessons and karmic, debts to pay or things of that nature, or debts to receive, and knowing where your placements are and getting to dissect what it means and how it applies to you in your life. No one else can do that for you. A person can read you your chart, but they can't live your experience for you. So the only thing you would be able to do for a person that's reading your chart is confirm that what they're saying sounds like, it's hitting the nail on the head. But once you start dissecting your own chart and it just goes deeper, because you can spend way more time into it, way more research into it, and you have a connection to the information that you're receiving. So it opens you up in a way that you are not open prior to diving into your natal chart. So what I want to talk about in this video, this podcast episode, is about the blocks. And what is the blocks that's stopping you, me, from being in the timeline we wish to be? Now, I know for me, like I said, learning my natal chart. And when you learn your natal chart, it directs you to, I say you should focus on the first two houses that are governing your mind, because everything starts in your mind, right? So if everything starts in the mind, you manifest everything in the mind, you hold all of your trauma there, all of the memories and things of that nature are stored there. I feel that's the first place we should go, because, your mind is so powerful. Any form of blockages there, they will store there for years, decades, your whole lifetime. And you have to go in there and deliberately remove it. In order to know something, to remove something, you have to know it exists. And that is what the natal chart helps us. So again, going with the houses that governs your mind, your thinking is your third house, right? So you want to see if you have any planets there and see what is the ruler of that house. And the next house I would recommend is the subconscious house, which is your 12th house. And that one is very important, because the subconscious is always running in the background, and it takes in things that your conscious mind is not aware of. And so when you go in there and you can look in that house and see what's ruling the house and what planets, if there's some in that house, it gives you a bigger scope on you and how you react to things, why you react to things, why certain situations may be placed in your mindset, your beliefs, your core beliefs, because their subconscious is really the core beliefs. And if they're not in alignment with what you want in life, you have to go in and you have to do the work necessary to remove those blockages, those subconscious blockages, and rewire them to think another way, so you can start behaving and receiving things in a different way. If there's behaviors that are blocking you, you can see that as well through your chart in these houses. Me, I have these two houses in particular, I have stelliums in both of them. So stelliums is a concentrated energy in one particular house or planets. And so there's a lot of lessons and things that I had to go through and still am going through, and a lot of learning and a lot of reprogramming, right? And so I know firsthand that you'll understand yourself so much better once you realize what's going on in there, what's going on upstairs, and why you know, what are the steps that you can do according to each planet, according to the house, and the ruling planet of that house. It gives you the proper, it gives you a kind of a cheat sheet to work with the planets, work with the energy, because it's your energy. It's not going anywhere, right? It's there. So it's there for you to work with it. Now, the planets in your house, they bring different energetic signatures. Now, if the house is empty, the ruler of the house tells a story as well. So each planet, as well as the sign that it's in, tells a story. But say that your house, your third house and your 12th house does not have any planets. Well, you would use the ruler of that house. So for instance, if it's a Cancer house, Cancer is ruled by the moon. So that's your ruling planet of that house. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is the ruling planet. So if that house is Leo, but it has no planets in it, you would use the energy of the ruling planet of that sign of the house, if that makes sense. In any aspects and degrees, they all play a role in dissecting your blocks. And it helps you further understand yourself, because an aspect could, be showing you if something is in opposition, which makes it a harder, a more challenging energy to push through. A square as well, make it more challenging, and then you'll know what subject. So say it's a Mars and you have a Mars opposition. Mars opposition your Venus. And the Venus is maybe, let's see, Mars in the 12th, Venus in the 6th. So it's opposition. So that would tell you right there, you're going to have some conflicting energy, like fist pumping each other. Opposition. Mean we don't get along. We are not friends, and so with that energy, you'll have to work and concentrate more on trying to blend those energies. So your opposition could be in your 6th house, and that's what you have in Venus in your 6th house, meaning you doing something you love, routine, every day, your job or whatnot, your health, your fitness, things of that nature, but it may oppose your 12th house. And you may have that Mars in the 12th house. So having Mars in the 12th house may make you stay in your head about the things you want to do, but you're not actually taking physical action to get in the gym, if that makes sense. So that having that knowing that aspect, it opens you up to understanding how to dissect your chart and your particular energy. And so I love this in particular because it helps you on a different level with getting to you, getting to that frequency you want to be on, getting to that timeline you want to live on, right? And then you become the timeline. You become the timeline that you wish to be on, because you're moving with so much more confidence in who you are, right? And when you are vibing high and confident and why you're here and your purpose, you move quicker. If not quicker, you're more intentional with your moves. And so again, I wanted to break down how Saturn, example here, Saturn could be in the 3rd house with planets, or the 3rd house could be Capricorn with no planets. The ruler of that house would be Saturn instead. So if you had Saturn, the planet, in your 3rd house, that can be the Saturn energy heavy. But if you don't have a planet in that house, but the house is Capricorn, you would use the ruler, which is Saturn, which would still bring that Saturn energy. And for example, Saturn restricts. It requires discipline, right? It requires the lessons that has to be learned, because Saturn rewards after you learn the lessons, and it's a karmic planet, so you may have to repeat a lot of things before you get the reward. It's a generational planet as well, so it's a slow moving planet. And with Saturn, if that's in the third house, which is the learning planet, a learning house, my bad, then that could restrict your flow of learning, right? You might not start learning until later in life, after 30, when Saturn, after your first Saturn return, is when you may start feeling like, oh, now I can think, I'm thinking clearer, I'm learning better, where before it was hard, I felt restricted in that area, right? So it's about knowing the planet and the characteristics and the energy that planet brings. Then you add it to that house, and then you add it to the aspects. And then if you want to go further, you can figure out what degree that planet is in that house. And that breaks it down so much more. And the more you break down yourself, nobody can tell you about you. You know what I'm saying? The more you know about you, nobody can tell you about you. The things that you may have thought was weird, you'll begin to see, oh, wow, I'm meant to do that. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not meant to fit in. None of us are meant to fit in, but a herd. It's a big herd mentality. And only the chosen few decide to step aside and get to know themselves, to go within and be the leader of their own life. And those are the people that I'm attracting, hopefully, to this channel, that understand that everything stops and goes with you. You can't control outside circumstances by physically trying to do it. Everything starts with you on the inside. The more you figure out who you are, what makes you tick, what doesn't, the quicker you'll get to who you wish to be in this lifetime. And you're not having these desires to be and do for nothing. And the more you dive into your natal chart, you'll understand. And all these aha moments will start to appear. And it won't be like trying to be the timeline. You will be the timeline. You will jump and not even know you've jumped, because the frequency raises with the confidence. And the more you know yourself, the more your frequency raises, the more you're more grateful for who you are and how you move and what life you came from, and understand why it was so hard. And or it was so easy, whatever the case may be, you will understand more. And to know more is to do more. To know better is to be better, right? And knowledge is powerful, and there's no better person to study than yourself. And so I'm going to end it here. I'll see you guys in the next video, and we will talk about, I don't know yet. We'll see. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you have any comments you want to add, please leave them down below. Subscribe to the channel, and if you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and hit that follow. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, and happiness.